Welcome to the Saturday Morning Nerd Show. I'm your host, Marcus Blake, and joined with me, as always, is the brewing sailor, Brendan Smith.
Hello, everybody.
And we got Chad Womack from the Electric Jellyfish podcast.
Morning, guys.
And it is just us three this time around. Jimmy Alford could not make it, but he did send in his pick for part of our podcast, his favorite or most underrated Steven Spielberg movie, and we will talk about that at the end of the podcast.
And as you can see, it's Saved Stargate Sunday.
And we have to dive into that. We have our own logo, shirts. This is That Nerd Show's official protest shirt. We stand united and support the independent fan movement of Save Stargate. And just want to point out, yeah, Amazon, you guys are idiots. God forbid you appeal to the actual fan base.
And God forbid you take some pity on your poor social media teams because they're getting dragged.
They didn't ask for this shit.
Want to be a social media marketing guru? Here you go. You have to deal with it. Why is there so many hashtags about Save Stargate? Anyway, so we got a lot to talk about today. At the time of this recording, we are going to dive in a little bit about Christopher Nolan and the Odyssey. The first half of the show will be mostly about the gaming industry. So you'll get to hear our complaints and some solutions and stuff like that. But before we get started, I wanted to dive in. I know there's been a drop off at the theater since the time we're talking about Supergirl, but I wanted to give a quick review about this movie. And if you were still on the fence about going to see it, completely get that. It's not like James Gunn is setting the world on fire with his DC universe. And, you know, you've probably read reviews, you've probably seen stuff online. It's like, I don't want to go pay $15 or $20, you know, a ticket to go see this movie. Totally get that. But if you want to pay for a cheap ticket, discounted ticket, something like that, yes, go to the theater and watch this movie. It's not a bad movie. It really, really isn't. And I will be the first to say, I actually liked it more than Superman from last year. And I know some nerds are going to be upset by me saying that, but hear me out real quick.
On me, that's a low bar to clear, in my opinion.
Well, I didn't hate the Superman movie. I just felt
I didn't hate it, but I sure as heck didn't like it.
no. I'm sorry. Man of Steel with Henry Cavill was better story. Superman was just James Gunn taking the template of Guardians of the Galaxy and replacing it and using it with DC characters and just trying to do too much by bypassing the origin story that we all, you know, already know.
Which is what this movie looked like to me. That's really what Supergirl looked.
Yeah, and you can say the same thing about Supergirl as well.
That's because James Gunn's a one-trick pony.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
But he didn't direct this. Who was the director of this thing?
Oh, well, yeah, he kind of did. That came out afterwards. Yeah, that came.
Craig Gillespie is the, you know, director on record. But there was a lot of Kathleen Kennedy-esque interference by James Gunn.
Yeah.
To the point where he actually did a separate cut of the movie, and they tested both. And even though Gillespie's cut had a slightly better audience test score, they went with Gunn's cut because Gunn's the boss.
So I will say that what Supergirl does well is it focuses more on the main character and does give her origin story and allows the character to find purpose. And that's the best part of the movie, next to Jason Momoa being Lobo. There should have been more scenes with him as Lobo to make the movie better, because, I mean, that's just a role that he is born to play. But again, I mean, you know, not a bad movie. Lots of good action. Millie Alcock is not, you know, she is a good Supergirl for this universe. It's just, I don't think they were trying to do as much in this movie as they were with Superman. They did more of the focus. But yeah, it does feel like Guardians of the Galaxy again. It even looks like it. I swear to God, they had the same
color palette.
Yeah, exactly. Which is fine.
I mean, it's Gunn's signature, right? Like even if you watch, like, for example, the other big movie that's out right now, Christopher Nolan movies, they always kind of have this washed out blue gray look to
Blue
them,
gray look. Yeah, they look
which
very like
which is why
they're
people are
shot
like,
on
why?
slate.
Like people are like, are you gonna go see the Odyssey? I'm like, no, probably not. And people are like, oh, are you into the culture war thing? It's like, well, no, it's just I don't really care for Christopher Nolan. I didn't care for Dunkirk after that. I didn't, the only thing I've really liked from him is Batman Begins and The Dark Knight.
Same.
Everything
I
else,
totally agree with you.
like to me, I think the man gets off on sniffing his own farts.
Yeah.
Everything's so got to be so overly complicated to the point where it lacks in narrative because nobody knows. Like to this day, even like actors he's worked with multiple times, like Cillian Murphy, has no fucking idea what Tenet was about.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's a time travel movie, but I actually like Tenet for what it is.
But I'm sorry, but I'm sorry, but if the guy, my point is, if you have an actor who you have worked with multiple times tells you after the movie, I filmed the movie, I still have no idea what it's about.
Look,
That's a writing issue.
So we'll segue to Nolan here in a minute, and we'll get to that. But you're right about James Gunn being a one trick pony, and you know his style and all that, and it's very evident with Supergirl. I gave the movie a 7. I really did, because it is okay for what it is. It did focus more on her, and it was slightly better, in my opinion, than Superman, which to me was just his way of uh, trying to bring the beginnings of the Justice League together by having other characters take away, because again, you didn't want to have an origin story that everybody already knows. The problem is the origin story is, while it's the same, is also a little bit different here and there because you're dealing with different universes. Okay, when they got there, but I'm not going to dive into all my problems.
Also, yeah, okay, everybody doesn't need to know Superman's origin story, but normies don't know who the hell Mr. Terrific is.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a C tier DC. Don't get me wrong, I like Mr. Terrific, and actually he was a lot of fun in the Arrowverse as one of the brighter spots of the later seasons. But like your average normal person doesn't know who Mr. Terrific is.
Yeah. So, but again, my point is this: is it top tier superhero movie? Is it Spider-Man No Way Home? Is it Avengers Endgame, or even the first Avengers movie, or a Captain America or Iron Man or Destroy? No, it isn't. But in a world of superhero fatigue, a movie being okay and fun, I mean, like, you know what? I didn't hate it. That's kind of where we are right now. I did not hate this movie. And there's been plenty of movies that we have a lot of hate for, of like, what the fuck is going on here?
But that's so sad that that's the bar now.
I know
that the bar has gotten that low.
And I think, and Chad and I have both said this numerous times. I will go out I will die on this hill. It is not superhero fatigue. It is bad movie fatigue.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of bad movies out there, and they're not all superhero movies, and we're all talking about how bad they are. And it's not like, oh, it's detective movie fatigue or it's crime movie fatigue, or we don't use that on any other genre but superheroes. We say that's a bad movie. And so like that kind of like, if you have a good superhero movie, like No Way Home. No Way Home made $1 billion, made almost two, right? That was a phenomenal movie. It was well done. We all enjoyed it. We had a great time watching it. It let us have fun in the theater. And that's the big thing too. I am so tired, and I've gone on this rant before about deconstructing the standard hero. No, we want our standard heroes. We want our aspirational heroes because they allow us to feel good and have fun. And that's why we go to the movies.
We want to be proud of being geeks. And those are the things that make us proud to be geeks when they crank out a movie like No Way Home,
and then
when they crank out a movie like Endgame.
And when you say, and when in the previous movie, in the lead up to Supergirl, you leave off by saying "bye, bitch" to Superman, nobody's really automatically thrilled about that.
Yeah, when you make her like when you equate that character to Mean Girls.
Yeah. Like I didn't want to go see Lindsay Lohan circa 2001 play Supergirl.
I do think that and I get what you're saying about bad movie fatigue, but I I look at the term superhero fatigue as when you are throwing so much out there and you don't have time to really develop and have good stories and you've got to push the content, then you're leading to bad movies. So that's why I kind of still get stuck on that term because, and again, we've talked about it. You've had this great buildup into, with Marvel. But after, nearly, I mean, we're going on what, 18 years now? I mean, 18 years of multiple superhero movies in a year and a pandemic and all that is between two major studios with a lot of good, bad movies just pushing out too much content.
Oh,
And
Has it really been 18 years since
and now,
Yeah, it has.
now,
Holy
if you
shit,
want
it
to,
is.
go that, I'll agree with you there. But again, I'll take the superhero label off of it, and I'll just say franchise fatigue.
you know what? I will compromise on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because if you look, I mean, look what they have done to Star Trek, to Star Wars, any of these big companies that gets a hold of an IP, they understand that it's really popular and it can make a lot of money, but they don't understand why it's popular or how it makes money. So they just milk the crap out of it and just keep throwing shit at the wall. Oh, don't worry. They're just consumers. As the old GIF and meme goes, consume product, get excited for next product.
Yeah.
They treat us like absolutely like do you remember the episode? Let's bring it back to Stargate for a sec. Do you remember the episode where they did the Wormhole Extreme episode where it was a parody of itself?
Yeah.
And Lieutenant Colonel, I forget Ben Browder's character's name in the later season of Stargate. But anyway, he's like, he says you should never treat your audiences like idiots. They're smart, empathetic people who will respond to good writing.
Yeah.
Preach.
What they are? They're the Justin Long character in Galaxy Quest that agonizes over every little detail.
They are the people that when Alice Krieg has the phaser setting to the wrong setting in Star Trek First Contact, and Jonathan Frakes says, we have to film that scene again because you had the phaser rifle on the wrong setting. And she said, who's going to notice that? And he goes, they're Star Trek fans. I will get letters.
We will.
Trust me, they'll notice.
Yeah. We know you want to break, but just trust me on this. You don't want the hate.
You do not want that smoke.
No, and that's the thing. And you are absolutely right about not understanding the property, but then you get people that understand the basic nuances of the story you're telling, like Tony Gilroy, who makes Andor that, yeah, it's in the Star Wars universe, but I'm making a spy show. I am making a rebellion show, and I am leading you to what you know with a slow burn in great character development. And by the time we get to the last episodes that literally set up the best movie in the Disney era, then that's what fans are going to gravitate towards. So, but anyway, that's the thing about Supergirl. I will totally watch it again. And it's the same way I'm going to watch The Mandalorian again. It'll be on digital this week, so I'll get my copy. But I'm not going to sit there and blow smoke up anybody's butt about this is a great movie. We need to talk about it. No, I'm not an influencer. I'm going to call you out if it's not good. And I will do this to segue to Nolan because there's been a lot of talk about the Odyssey, and Chloe and I had this discussion because Chloe and I went to go see the press screenings, and our grades were very different, and we give each other a hard time about that. I agree with her that it may be the best filmed adaptation of the Odyssey. I didn't jump on the bandwagon, because I'm not a Nolan fanboy. I appreciate a lot of his movies, but then there are some I'm just like, okay, whatever. And to me, this movie was like, okay, cool. But there's so much going on here that you're trying to cram it into 3 hours. And it's a very tedious story to get to the last act, which is incredible. Okay. Once he finally gets home and, lies about his identity and confronts the suitors and does all of that, that part of the movie is absolutely amazing. It just takes over 2 hours to get there. Like I had 2 or 3 bathroom breaks and checked some email and felt like I did not miss anything in the movie. But if you like Nolan as a director, you like his style, you like how he uses music, all of that is there. And from a technical standpoint, it is well shot. It's great. And I applaud him for using a 60-foot puppet for the Cyclops and more practical effects. I get all that. But the question I have to pose to fans is, did we even really need this movie about the Odyssey? Compared to some of the stuff that he has done. And I'll ask another question. In 20 years, when we're talking about him as a filmmaker, are we going to be talking about this movie, or are we going to be talking about the Batman movies?
I think we all know the answer to that. I know what Brendan and I will be talking about because,
and here's the thing. Did either one of you watch Oppenheimer?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got around to it.
Yeah, I like Oppenheimer.
Bored the shit out of me.
Really?
It really did. I was like, they hyped this thing up like, optimized for IMAX camera. Why the hell do I need to watch a courtroom drama in IMAX? I don't.
No.
Well, and the funny thing too is, they made a big deal out of filming the Odyssey in 75 millimeter IMAX film. There's like 25 75 millimeter IMAX theaters in the entire country.
Yeah.
Why waste the money?
Yeah.
Like I just that doesn't, like, that to me, that just screams of ego.
Okay. You know what? And I was going to make this comparison. Is he starting to come off as a geekier version of Scorsese now, to where everything he makes has to exceed 2.5 hours in length, pushing over 3 hours in length?
Yes.
They've got to be bloated, pretentious shit that is a slog for the most part.
Here's the thing about Scorsese. It took him 40 years to make these kinds of movies. It took Nolan like 25. So if that's all we're going to get, I appreciate a great epic.
Am I the only one that thinks Nolan peaked with Memento?
He peaked with The Dark Knight. Let's not, let's be fair on that.
I don't know. As a storyteller, I think he peaked because to me, The Dark Knight's more about the performances. Because what Heath Ledger does in that, and to a lesser extent, Christian Bale and Aaron Eckhart, was it Eckhart that played Harvey Dent?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, their performances carried that movie. But Memento, from a storytelling perspective, where you're, and from a filming perspective, where you don't even realize that your timelines are going in different directions, but you do see that there are two different timelines because one's color, one's black and white, and then they both end at the same point. That was a really well done story to me. And I think that's the best he ever did as a storyteller. Now, you could make an argument that The Dark Knight, Oppenheimer, all these were better filmed because he's, more as a film director, he's refined his craft more.
He's got more expensive toys to play with, too.
Exactly. Yeah, there's that, too. But from a storytelling aspect, I think Memento was his best work.
I don't disagree with that. It's funny you say that. Last year I interviewed Stephen Tobolowsky at USA. We were talking about that movie, and when he got the script and just like being wowed by it. I agree with you there. I still really love Interstellar. I'm not going to argue about the science part. I'm not going to get bogged down in that. And when people start nitpicking about that, I'm like, do you nitpick about parsecs in Star Wars, even though Lucas got that wrong? No. Because it still sounds cool in the story. And I look at Interstellar as a more story-driven sci-fi drama. I like that. And I know I'm one of the few, and there's people that have problems with the movie. I loved Oppenheimer for what it is. But Chad, you're right. It is a courtroom drama, so to speak. Yeah. The brilliance of that film, though, is how he tells the two perspectives, switching between black and white in color. Robert Downey Jr.'s narration and all that is all in black and white. You're seeing his perspective, and that's the metaphor of what he's looking at, versus the color is trying to define this philosophical argument about what kind of man Oppenheimer really was, that he was an enigma. He was, very flawed, but he did this great thing and whatnot. And we deal with arguing over the use of nuclear weapons and proliferation, in a historical manner. I appreciate
vessels.
Yeah.
Nuclear. Victor too. Yeah. And I would have been okay with that had that been how they marketed that film.
Right.
But like they pushed it to the moon like it was this fucking, like jaw-dropping epic. I'm like, okay, if you want to consider To Kill a Mockingbird a jaw-dropping epic, fine. But when you push this thing to the moon on the premise of the IMAX scope selling the experience, I'm just like, that adds nothing to a bunch of people sitting around a table talking to each other.
Yeah.
It's 12 Angry Men in IMAX. Okay, whatever.
Yeah, that's like saying certain movies we need to have a 4K edition of certain classic movies so you could really appreciate them. Like, no,
No.
I really
So,
don't.
so I could really appreciate just how grainy the original was. Like,
Yeah.
but
Like-
I mean, who cares? Like, I don't need In Harm's Way in 4K.
Like I'll make this argument. I've been making it for a while because my wife is a massive Marilyn Monroe junkie, and this was the 100th anniversary of her birth. It would have been her 100th birthday back in June. So
Really?
we've been watching, yeah,
Okay.
and we've been watching a shitload of Marilyn Monroe films because she's working on a life-size doll of Marilyn Monroe, and the only film of Marilyn's that's in 4K is Some Like It Hot,
Which is her best film, in my opinion.
but it's in black and white.
I know.
I'm like, you mean to tell me that you can't put Gentlemen Prefer Blondes with the pink diamonds? Are really? You're not going to put that in 4K?
You know her two best movies, and I had this discussion with someone recommending, because she said she was a fan. I'm like, it's Some Like It Hot and it's The Misfits. The Misfits being because it was Clark Gable and hers very last film.
But she hated that film. She hated being involved in that film. And Arthur Miller made her look like a fool in that film.
Yeah.
It was almost like a contractual obligation film.
I know. Well,
Like to me, it's a really close race between Gentlemen Prefer Blondes and How to Marry a Millionaire.
and Had a Millionaire is a good one too. But
Her
yeah,
roles in those movies just
Right.
are absolutely delightful, and those films belong on a 4K format because of the color palette.
Sure.
They would look spectacular in 4K.
I only say Some Like It Hot because her going toe to toe with Tony Curtis and Jack Lemmon.
Oh, I love the movie. Don't get me wrong. I love that movie. It's fucking hilarious. But that's
Yeah.
the one you're going to put in 4K, the one in black and white? Really?
And you know what? There is something wonderful about In Harm's Way, which I watched it yet again not too long ago. I think because it was on Prime, and I was like, yeah. I had a Navy day because Prime had some really good Navy movies. They had like, The Final Countdown, In Harm's Way, and I think U-571, something like that. So I just threw it over the back. There's something wonderful about watching that black and white, a little bit grainy, like an old-time classic movie. They're using models for the underwater stuff, but it's the performance and the story of all those characters. And to me, that's one of Burgess Meredith's best movies.
Oh yeah. So
Yeah.
you know what the thing is too with the graininess of the old film.
Yeah.
It's like listening to vinyl
Yes. I figured that's where you're going.
because it's the imperfections, man. I love vinyl over CDs, over MP3s, over any of it, any digital media.
Any day of the week.
The problem is digital media is perfect, right? There's no flaws. They can eliminate everything. They can use auto tune, whatever they want. They can make it sound perfect. And there we have the audio uncanny valley because music is never perfect or rarely so. I
Yeah.
mean, maybe if you were,
Music is never perfect, but it's honest. That's why one of Springsteen's greatest albums is always going to be Nebraska. And I loved the movie that came out last year to appreciate the story of what he was dealing with, why he made that album, and how they kept the imperfections and really argued with, Columbia trying to digitize and make and ruin the sound. And even today, that's the original sound you're going to get from that album. The only other good thing outside of that is when he's done like a live version of it and replayed those songs, which I think he did something for an anniversary before the movie came out. But yeah, so I agree with you on that. I love Nolan as a director, and I get the ego that you want to make these great epic movies like David Lean. Okay, you want to make Lawrence of Arabia and Dr. Zhivago, and I pointed this out in my review. There's this pedestal that every film director wants to get to. They want to make this kind of movie, or they want to recapture the magic. Coppola, Megalopolis is just him trying to recapture the epic of making, Godfather Part 1 and 2 in Apocalypse Now. Okay. Even though the film is an entire mess and like whatever. But Nolan, I think he keeps doing this stuff because he's like, I'm going to get there. I've got my Oscar. So now I can do all this. But at what point do you become Scorsese where you're making these 3.5 hour dramas that are unnecessary? Okay. Or are better served as make this a limited series on a streaming channel. Because I don't need to see the Odyssey in 70 millimeter. I mean, it was great in IMAX. Fine, I had that experience. But I could also watch a 4 hour director's cut on a streaming channel
Mm-hmm.
telling the story and all of these wonderful performances. And there's great performances. Okay. I didn't even get into the whole crap about the casting issues about Lupita Nyong'o, being Helena. And for everybody upset about that, dude, she's in that movie less than 5 minutes. It does not fucking matter. Okay, if you're that upset about it, whatever. And Elliot Page, I had no problem with that. Minimal screen time.
Wasn't Achilles. Did
No.
not play Achilles.
Did not play Achilles. Okay. But had a really good scene that kind of summed up the theme of the movie when when Odysseus is talking to the dead. Robin Pattinson was really great in it. That movie has award-winning performances, but you're trying to make this movie more, stylish than it really needs to be. And at the same time, it's the Odyssey. I'm not going to go and watch that over and over. But I will watch the Batman movies over and over. I'll go back and watch Interstellar and Memento. I'll even watch Inception, okay? Because I think that is kind of a cool movie. But take your ego down a notch here, okay?
My history tism that got me when I saw the poster, especially because Nolan's known as a details guy.
Yeah.
And the only reason why I let it go is because it's about Cyclops and it's about, a fantastical creature. But the Cyclops are wearing full steel plate armor
Yeah.
in the Bronze Age.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be invented for another like 3.
No.
It's closer to the full plate armor is closer to the iPhone than it is to the Bronze Age.
And here's the thing. It didn't bother me that much. It didn't
I
really...
just find it amusing.
I do.
Because it should bother Nolan. That's kind of the whole point. Is like
Right.
you're
Yeah,
that guy that you're that much of a stickler, but you're gonna let that slide. Okay.
But I'm going to point something out, and I know that everybody who's gushing over the Odyssey is going to hate me for it. I watched Troy again last night because I have the over 3 hour director's cut. I think it's a better movie. I do, and here's why. Is some of the acting over the top? Sure. Is Brad Pitt doing all he can to be the glistening hero and show my abs and muscles all the time? Whatever. Brian Cox plays a really great villainous Agamemnon.
Brian Cox is phenomenal.
He is. He brings greatness to everything.
He just Red wouldn't have been as good a movie without Brian Cox. When he hits Helen Mirren with the Han Solo.
No.
Oh no. Him in the long kiss goodnight.
Oh,
Yes.
One of my favorite roles
Yes.
of his.
Yeah.
he just jumped out of a window. Yes, it was very exciting. And tomorrow we'll go to the zoo. The other best one, Agatha, your dog. What about my dog? He's been licking his own asshole for 3 hours. And I submit
I guarantee
to
you there's
that there's
nothing
there worth an hour's more of attention. And anything that is there is either there to stay or gone,
for good.
About him in Red is she's about to shoot somebody with her sniper rifle, and he's trying to seduce her right then and there.
The
Like
dude
sticking
is
his
just
nose in her
fantastic.
boot or something. And
Also,
And
Jesus.
I also love that he did Super Troopers,
exactly.
and he came back for the third one.
Yeah. The old crotchety, captain or whatever, he is great in those movies. I just watched Super Troopers again the other day. The second one is okay. There's some funny moments and great Canadian jokes. And I don't know if this one's going to be that good or not. I mean, I can't wait.
I don't care. I'm looking at Super Troopers 3 like I'm looking at Boondock Saints 3. As long as it has some great lines, some good action, and makes me laugh and makes me, and gives me good memories of the first one, I don't care. It doesn't have to be
I
great.
will support
Same as Jackass, best and last.
Yeah.
You're not going in for high art.
I will support anything those guys do because one of the best interviews I had was with Kevin Heffernan and Steve Lemmy. So they were so nice.
Just the Broken Lizard guys in general.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, Beer Fest is.
Not a fan of that movie. I tried. I really did try.
I love Beer Fest. Our buddy Scott, we back when I was really brewing, and the epitome of making a really good beer. I just love using that line. Oh my God, I want to stick my dick in it. I wanted this thing to stick in me. It's a silly, silly movie.
Words I didn't think I'd hear today.
I know. It's like
Spoken by Marcus.
children, in case you were wondering, this is kind of a rated R show.
Yeah.
Anyway, last thing I'll say about Nolan. I appreciate what he's trying to do, but that's certain at a certain point, you're someone's going to have to tell you no.
Yeah.
Like take it down a notch. I'm always interested in what he's going to do next as a filmmaker, but that doesn't mean that you haven't peaked. And doing a movie about the Odyssey, cool. But I think
Where do you go from there? Seriously, where do you go from?
but there's so many different stories that you can tell. Like I like Dunkirk more than Brendan. I know when we went to go see it, Brendan was you were so annoyed throughout that movie because of the grinding sounds and stuff like that. And I totally
It was physically difficult for me to sit through.
yeah.
I heard a lot of people saying that about this. I heard a lot of people saying about the Odyssey. There's something about a mid range or a low emitting frequency that it was aggravating to them. Like I said, I couldn't take it anymore. One guy said he got up to the Cyclops scene, he had to get up and walk out.
It's very loud. It's meant to be, because it's an epic. But Nolan uses these very grinding sounds to build intensity with the audience. Sometimes it works, sometimes it's great. I liked the use of that in Oppenheimer. I did not like the use of it in this. If you're going to make a great epic, you need a great epic score. That's how I feel about it. If you're trying to measure up to that, have a great, and you just didn't. I mean,
Zimmer didn't do this one, did he?
No.
This was what was it? Ludwig?
Yes.
Was it Goranson? Okay, that's what I thought.
So
and Ludwig is just no Zimmer.
Yeah,
I don't know if there is another Zimmer.
I gave this movie a 7. It is okay. It's again a technical marvel. I hear everybody talk about we're going to be talking about this movie in film classes and for a long time, and I was like, well, you'll be talking about the technical aspects of this movie and how to make a movie, but the story itself, which has been tackled before, and this is just an ego-driven director. Like, I'm going to submit my take on this great epic story.
And just shove IMAX down everybody's throat.
Right.
Yeah, it's what it says a lot to me when one of the popcorn buckets is the Trojan horse, the other one is an IMAX camera.
Okay,
Yeah.
that is something that also made me laugh was the depiction of the Trojan horse rearing up on its hind legs.
Mhm.
Yeah.
How many people are you getting in there? Are they standing on their heads?
It's like,
So, one of my favorite scenes in the movie, though, is the scenes inside the horse. It's very claustrophobic. Guys are
you think?
they finish. It's on purpose. He really wanted to show you how uncomfortable they were, how long they really had to wait. People were drowning. They were trying to not drown because it was in the water. I appreciated building that aspect of it. I didn't really need it because I understood that when you cram a lot of men in a small wooden horse, it's probably going to be uncomfortable.
You farted, damn it!
I know, right?
Gotta piss. Shut the fuck up.
But again, I will maintain is this a movie that we're going to go back and watch again? And I doubt that I will ever sit down and watch this movie again. I'm like, I had that experience. I don't even think I'm going to put it on my Plex. And I have pretty much all of Nolan's movies. I just like, okay, great. You told an epic story.
I think you'll put it there just to have it there. You've got all of the other ones. You might as well.
I mean,
That's how I dude, I've got Batman and Robin on my fucking Plex server in 4K because I'm a completionist.
well, that's you. I stopped at Batman too, but that's just me.
Not like I'll ever freaking watch it, but it's there.
Yeah, I can't do the Schumacher Batman movies, and I love Val Kilmer.
Yeah.
I just don't understand why that man thought it was a good idea to turn the Dark Knight into a 90s rave party.
Hey, we understand you really loved the original Batman series and you want to get back to that palette and update it, but no.
You know what's funny? That we all remember all the furor about, nipples being put on the bat suit that year. Everybody went nuts. Now this year, everybody's going nuts because they took the Rock's nipples off of his chest in Moana. All about men's nipples for some crazy reason.
Yeah, you guys are really obsessed with nipples.
I know, right? Like, what the hell? We put them on, you get pissed off. You take them off, you get pissed off.
I don't understand that any of it. But then again, I don't understand why we needed a live action Moana other than Disney wanted to milk that franchise.
Yeah, we didn't. And apparently nobody else did either because it's the worst grossing live action remake so far. It's doing worse than Snow White did.
Well,
and that's saying something.
That is saying something because the actors in that actively sabotaged the movie. But here's the thing with Disney live action movies, and this is why I won't go see another one. I will never forgive them for this. You mean to tell me you did a live action Jungle Book and you did not let Christopher Walken sing Louis Prima's I Want to Be a Man? I want to walk like you. I want to talk. Come on. I want to be a man. No, they didn't.
In the end credits, he did.
Well, not in the movie, and I didn't stick around because the movie sucked.
It was not great, but yeah, during the end credits, he does that. But he doesn't say, he's all, what was he, a Gigantopithecus, I think is what his species was. That's actually a lyric in the song in the end credits. I'm like, God, this is awkward.
Yeah, no, he's like, I just wanted to hear, I want to be a man cub. I want to stroll right into town. So give me the secret of your red fire. I'm tired of monkeying around.
So getting back to your point, you know what, Chad, you are right. I would actually put the Odyssey on my Plex. Not necessarily that I will go back and watch it, but for other people that want to watch it, that didn't want to send to theater, I at least have to put it for other people. So you're right.
If you want to do a double feature with that and Troy, why not?
Well, I mean, I could see that.
Block out a day.
I hadn't seen Troy in probably 15 years. Some stuff I'd forgotten about it and all that. And I'm like, I really did enjoy this movie.
Is that director even around anymore still? Is Wolfgang Peterson still making movies?
I don't think so.
He was old back then.
Yeah, I know. I was like, did he?
I remember when he made the Perfect Storm, and he looked old as shit. Oh, he's dead.
That would be weird. Okay.
Yeah, he died in 2022.
Shit. Okay.
His last thing. But hey, can we all admit the best movie he ever made? Air Force One.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. I'm pretty fond of the Never Ending.
That's just actually, the best movie he ever made was probably Das Boot, but
that's true. That's true.
I mean, that's another one who peaked with his first one. Although I will give him a say, In the Line of he did go on a pretty solid heater in the mid 90s.
Yeah, he did.
In the Line of Fire, Outbreak, Air Force One, Bicentennial Man, The Perfect Storm, Troy.
Jesus.
Yeah, that's a pretty solid run right there.
And remember, he was this close to doing Justice League.
Yeah.
He was the guy. He was supposed to be doing that one.
All right. One last thing that we want to do, and then we're going to take a quick break and then segue into the rest of our podcast. We do want to take the time, since you brought up Bicentennial Man, we want to say goodbye.
Oh, God. Yeah, good segue.
Sam Neill, who passed away this last week at anyway.
Starred in my two favorite horror movies of all times. In the Mouth of Madness.
Yes.
And Event Horizon.
Event Horizon.
Well,
Only 2 horror movies I've ever watched that have really truly freaked me out.
Yeah. And while everybody will, we truly remember him as being Dr. Grant in the Jurassic Park movies, he's phenomenal in those, and phenomenal in Hunt for Red October. I really love Bicentennial Man.
Mm-hmm.
Out of making a movie from the Isaac Asimov books about the robot boss, that there's so much heart into that movie. I mean, Robin Williams makes the movie, but I mean, Oliver Platt makes that movie. Okay.
A lot of people made that movie.
There's so much, but Sam Neill, just he is the patriarch of that movie.
Mm-hmm.
So that was one of the ones that I need to go back and watch because I haven't watched it in a long time, and it's good reason too because it does kind of wreck me. Yeah, at the end, it's one of Robin Williams' best performances, but yeah, but Sam Neill. Now, for those of you that may or not know, because I know it's been going around the net, but yes, he did audition for James Bond after Roger Moore quit the role and before they cast Timothy Dalton. And there is that universe of what could have been. I do think he could have been a good James Bond. I love Timothy Dalton. But, I think Sam Neill would have kind of embodied the role and got it back to a darker aspect of the character. How long that would have lasted if he had gotten it, I don't know. But, when we think about actors who would have been a great James Bond, I'd be like, I have to admit, I think he would have been able to nail it. But
I did watch a real gem of his the other night because I'd never seen it. I'd heard about it, been meaning to watch it, but have y'all seen? You probably have, Michael. Heck, you probably have too, Brendan. Hunt for the Wilder People.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
That's my favorite Taika Waititi movie.
Golly, was that movie good?
Yeah, it is. Oh my god, funny, sad.
It's Up. It's a live action version of Up. If you really want to get technical about it, it really is.
Yeah.
That and there were shades of. Do you remember a movie back in the early '80s that William Holden and Ricky Schroeder made together called The Earthling?
I do not
look that up. It's very similar. It's very, very similar.
I didn't even realize that he was originally Northern Irish.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just always associated him with New Zealand.
Yeah.
Because, that's where he lived.
But we also have to admit, if you're a Peaky Blinders fan, first couple of seasons of Peaky Blinders, phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
He made a great villain.
And he made a kick-ass Damien Thorne in The Omen 3. That's the first thing I ever saw him in.
I did put all those movies on my Plex and actually watched them last Halloween. They're kind of, once you get past the original, they're kind of hokey.
Yeah, they're very cheesy.
Yeah, but they're fun. So, Brendan, I know you're not a Waititi fan per se, but I do. You should watch Hunt for the Wilder People because he only really has one cameo in it, and it is a very heartfelt movie. It's really made by Sam Neill and the kid. So, all right, we'll take a quick break, and we will come back and talk about gaming and stuff like that. And break. And I say that because I have to pee.
All right. Fair enough.
Yeah.
I probably should go attempt to do so, given that I've already gone through 2 non-alcoholic.
I was gonna say how
beers.
many? I was say you're.
Well, I'm drinking NAs because I got to work tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
I might allow myself an old fashioned later, but I didn't want to be drinking beers all afternoon and then have an old fashioned before work.
The store. Yeah.
So I got two great memes here to lighten the mood. First one, it says villains of the prequel trilogy, and it's got Palpatine, Maul, and Dooku. Villains of the original trilogy, and it's got the Emperor, Vader, and Tarkin. Villains of the sequel trilogy, J.J. Abrams, Kathleen Kennedy, Ryan Johnson. The next one is the circle of entertainment, and it's got a picture of Cartman as Kathleen Kennedy from that South Park episode.
The
It says,
pandering.
find a beloved IP, put a chick in it, make her lame and gay. Product flops, blame the fans. And then it's just a circle.
God, if you want a more truthful, like, episode of anything telling, calling out Disney and Star Wars, that was it.
What was
Yeah.
it? Was it Beyond the Panderverse? Is that what that episode
Yes.
was called? God, that was brilliant.
Chicken maker.
Put a chicken and make her gay.
I mean,
Oh.
I almost think that was even better than the whole like dark, rape episode.
It's like when she goes when she goes to the restaurant. I told you to put a chick in my salad and make her gay.
And make her gay.
Oh,
I still love
Kathy, you and your self inserts.
I still love everybody about the Alkalite, Brendan and I were talking about Rebel Scum, and besides scheduling conflicts, I mean the only two people there that I really wanted to talk to was Kyle Solar and Denise Go, and then
I will say they added Dennis Haysbert because he was in Maul, and he played
awesome.
he played Master Echo Daki,
Oh,
and or voiced, I should say, not played, but and I would go see him just to talk about stuff like Navy SEALs and Major League and 24.
I mean that.
Still carry a Jabbo around with you?
I
say, fuck you, Jabbo.
course,
Do it myself.
Tom Patrick Flannery for Young Indiana.
Yeah, those are the two that I would really like. And it's not even. I go in a Star Wars convention to see two not Star Wars guys.
Right. I'd be like, so yeah. Remember how I was asking you updates on Boondock Saints 3? Here's my podcast host. What else is going on? We want to know because we're going to be there.
I really do wish they would change the name of that thing because it really sounds like the web address looks like a Star Wars porn site. I'm sorry. I just can't not say rebelscom. Really?
I know. I love what they're doing. I
really thought that through.
And I get this being kind of an off year and everybody else doing, other conventions. I think next year will be better.
You think everybody's gearing up for the 50th?
No,
big time. Everybody's gearing up for that.
And that's
if they want to skip it, fine.
And next year will be the first time I've ever seen A New Hope in the theaters.
Exactly. And we are doing that. All right. Let's get back to it.
I wasn't born yet. And then in 1997, when they re-released it, my ass was in boot camp.
So,
taking my kid.
All right.
Actually, no. That was the day before my parents split up.
All right.
The next day, my mom kicked my dad out of the house. February 1st, 1997, because I've got the poster. January 31st, 1997 was the release of the special edition of A New Hope. And the next day, all hell broke loose in my family.
Nice. All right. Welcome back, everybody. So we're going to jump into the gaming industry and stuff that's going on there.
Boy, is there a lot.
Yeah. We're going to try not to complain too much. However, so we waited to do this week's Out of the Apocalypse because it does have to do with the gaming industry. So how much of our audience plays the sports games? This one has to do with EA College Football 27, and I'll get to a quick review of that here in a moment. But this week's Out of the Apocalypse, EA, better known as Eternally Awful, decided to sneak microtransactions into a game again, thinking that gamers wouldn't notice or complain.
And not only that, it was features that were previously in the game that they took out of the game and then sold back to you.
Yeah. Yeah. So the Dynasty mode and stuff like that, that's where most of the microtransactions came from. Everything that had already been in when they brought back college football. But yeah, so you're buying the game at retail with the tax at $75. By the time you do microtransactions for your teams and players and all that, you're spending you could be spending over $100 for this game. Okay, and this is just the regular version. This is not even, and even with the deluxe version, again, nothing was free.
Jesus.
And within a week of releasing it, actually not even in a week, the game came out on July 9th, but the deluxe version always comes out like 5 days before, and that's when you could do the free 10-hour trial to see if you want to buy the game. Or like us, we use that, or I use it to review the game to see if I actually want to spend money on it. So even people who had done the deluxe version, who had played the trial, I mean, even before the actual official release date, within a day of the deluxe version being released, they were starting to get complaints. Like, it didn't take any gamers, there was no long period of time before they discovered it. I mean, it was like instant. They're like, what is this shit that we're having to pay for? So they have taken them out because
Partially.
there was a backlash, as there usually is. So here's the question, okay, for the gaming companies, for any studio out there. Has there ever been a time when you've had microtransactions in a game you've already paid for, where gamers are like, yeah, that makes sense. That's okay. I'll totally.
That's fair.
Yeah, we're happy to do that. Ever.
Here's the thing. They're gonna come back. This is only a temporary PR move. I guarantee you they come back. I guarantee you they come back before the next college football game releases. And here's why. Because EA, as part of their sale to the group led by that Saudi conglomerate, has to clear $20 billion in debt.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay. Now, last year they had a record year. They made like $890 million in gross profit, or net profit, net profit. That would take, if they applied all of their net profit to that debt, it would take 23 years to pay it off. So they have to find new ways to pay off that debt and service that debt. And so microtransactions, they're going to be everywhere in EA. I mean, they already are, but it's going to be even more and more prevalent. And this is only the first draw. And this will not be the last time it happens.
Yeah.
And I want to read to you an excerpt from their apology, if you can call it that.
I'm about to say, is it really, though?
However, your feedback on Road to Glory and Dynasty is that we missed the mark with the introduction of paid progression options, because these options were previously free and just part of the game. This added independent of deeper mode this was added independent of deeper mode progression with the aim to give the players more choice. No, the players already had the choice. This was added so that you can milk them for more money. But what you've said is they were not really adding the value we intended. Quit fucking lying. You didn't intend to add any value. You intended to extract money by taking value out and selling it back to your players.
Yeah.
You cock-juggling thundercunts.
Yeah. So again, what they were trying to masquerade it as college points to instantly max out their dynasty coaches and upgrade Road to Glory athletes with packages that range from $9.99 all the way up
to $100.
No, $150.
Oh, $150.
Oh my
okay.
God.
For a game you've already paid for.
Wow.
So just like there is the hashtag Save Stargate movement, there is the hashtag CFB play don't play movement with EA.
Yeah.
It's like,
God almighty.
yeah, it's just okay.
Shameless about it, man. Just shameless.
I admit that the biggest thing that I was going to worry about. Now, I love they didn't really do a good job with Dynasty mode in 25 when they brought it back, but they massively improved it to where you can create your coach and do a season and go through all this stuff. The game I think they wanted to release with EA College 25 was really EA College 26. Because there are some like vast differences with how you play and stuff like that. But they needed to get something out, so they gave a base game to get people excited about college football again. And it looked good. It played well. It did its job. 26 is really kind of the peak, of this is great. This is what we really want. And of course, the best part, no microtransactions. So I took a look at the game, played for a few hours. There's virtually no difference between it and 26. With Dynasty, you can't carry over what you did in the Dynasty mode.
Up to their old Madden tricks.
Yeah. And then again, everything that they had that was free, trying to max out, they added their microtransactions in 27. So essentially, you made the same game, except for this. Defense is supposedly a little bit better, although I didn't tell any difference. And two, the presentation is good. It feels more cinematic with the intros of each college football team and the music or the bands and blah, 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 blah. Cool. I'm not buying an EA college football movie.
Yeah, I'm not buying it for cinematics.
Right.
You don't buy a sports game for freaking cinematics.
And ironically, the best presentation in any college football or pro football game was like 15, 20 years ago when 2K could make a game and they had ESPN in it and Chris Berman was giving you highlights of the other games. They did this on the PS2 and the Xbox, and you can't do this now? Come on.
Because of all the licensing, yeah. I'm glad that they added more band music compared to the first year. They really beefed that up, and it is fantastic. Again, they're saying they added more. There's more schools or whatever. I heard the same music that I heard in the version I bought last year. No difference, no big deal. But then again, you have the whole microtransaction. So the verdict on EA College Football 27 is,
yeah,
I give you a 2.
You charge more money for less product. Right. Way to go.
Well, maybe
and you insulted your core audience in the process.
Yeah, but it's a better game now because they've removed all the microtransaction crap. Well,
yeah, sure, yeah.
You refunded the players that spent up to an extra $150. No, you haven't done that.
No, and they're not going to do that. They can't. They can't afford to.
Well, you took advantage of players. You're going to keep their money, and then everybody else is, get to do it for free. I knew that once we got back,
had hoodwinked and took.
Yeah, once we got back into this. Oh, also, by the way, in Dynasty mode, you can create your own team, but you can't create them in Dynasty mode.
Then why do it?
Yeah, that's all I really wanted to do is, I love the fact that there's different versions of people creating like the Texas State Armadillos or my favorite, I love the guys that create Mountain Dew University. Hilarious. But you can't play them in Dynasty mode and have a full season and take them, to the national championship. So again,
oh God.
Yeah, you make the same game that you did last year, but we put 27 on the box.
Yeah, and took features away.
Yeah.
So
you guys are
that's like with like one of the sleaziest things in gaming is when you do a deluxe edition that doesn't actually provide anything extra.
Yeah.
So with GTA 6, the digital deluxe edition doesn't provide anything that you can physically get or like anything that's extra. What it provides is areas in the game you can only go to if you buy the $100 edition. These areas will never be accessible to the $80 edition. So what you've done is you've not giving a deluxe edition. $100 is the edition. That is the game. The $80 is a budget game where you don't get the complete game.
Which is hard to say when you're mentioning that price point.
Yeah. Right.
That's a budget game. Okay.
But that's what it is.
Yeah.
Because it's not like for example, Blood of the Dawnwalker, and my God, somebody outside keeps setting off their freaking car alarm. Like, stop being a moron. Anyway.
We can't hear it. We can't, just so you know, we can't hear it.
Thank God, it's driving me insane. Anyway. But Blood of Dawnwalker, which is coming out from Rebel Wolves in September, their collector's edition is $200, but it's an old school collector's edition. Let me pull it up here. You get a ton of stuff for that $200. Let me pull it up. It is so you get. Please don't tell me I just clicked. Okay, no, I got it. You're getting a collector's box. You're getting a statue of the main character. You're getting a hardcover art book. You're getting posters. You're getting maps. You're getting in-game items. By the way, those in-game items also are available through the game. You can just get them via play, and they're available to every purchase pre-order. So it's not like they're locking something behind a pre-order or behind a digital edition that you can only get like Grand Theft Auto is. Everybody in the game can get this suit of armor. You just get it for free if you pre-order, and if you don't pre-order, you can just get it through normal play of the game. So
The way it should be done is basically what you're saying.
exactly. So Rebel Wolves is doing it right. Now, what you'll note about Rebel Wolves is a bunch of guys that broke away from CD Projekt Red, and they're an independent studio, and they don't have to deal with shareholders. Shareholders are ruining gaming.
Yeah. Anyway, I will say this. They're like, getting back to EA College Football, there's no reason to buy it. If you did Dynasty mode and last year and you win to the national championship or you've played a couple of seasons, keep doing it with your same coach. Keep having more seasons until you graduate players out and or play new teams or whatever. I mean, that's basically what I'm going to do. And you can still do the other modes if you have your 4-year recruit or whatever. But yeah, EA just completely screwed over their fans on this. And
Again.
it's
Once again.
There was at one point where EA was actually voted the worst company in the country 2 years in a row, and they beat out Halliburton.
Jesus.
Point that out.
Jesus. Wow.
EA, when you look at the history of gaming, bringing us sports games, yeah, that was a momentous achievement, developing for Sega Genesis and all that. That once upon a time, you were awesome for bringing us something that, fans wanted, and it wasn't just moving blocks.
And then they got exclusive licenses and got lazy.
Yeah. Yeah. But the only thing that I even really kind of care about anymore with EA is FIFA, just because there's so many different teams and careers and all that. And I did finally start a mode where I can create my, fake team, and I'm going to take them through the English leagues or whatever. And that's fun. But, I've never felt the need to really keep buying versions, the day they come out, stuff. And I will give them this. The 1 year at the height of popularity with Ted Lasso, they put AFC Richmond in all of the characters, and you could have Jason Sudeikis roaming the sidelines and everything. That was cool. And I hope that they do that again with, the new season coming out, or at least with the women's league, because, that's what the story is for season 4, is they're going to take over the women's league. But about the only thing you should really do with EA, and this is kind of a one of the bright spots with Xbox. I mean, there's a lot of complaints right now, but at least it's built into their Game Pass, and at least they reduced the price to where it is kind of the better value than getting the full catalog with PlayStation and then EA Play on the side. You do actually save a few more bucks now. But again, it took fan backlash to make them realize that, yeah, you can't overcharge gamers, especially in this economy, especially with gas like a roller coaster in real life. But I guess maybe that's their plan. They're like, well, if people can't afford gas, they're going to stay at home and game. But do you think that we're going to take the money that we can't afford for gas and put it into microtransactions for your shitty ass football game?
Oh, shit. You seem to think that nobody has their priorities in line. Okay.
Oh, and yeah, and you got Bank of America out here, cheerleading for the $80/$100 GTA 6 bullshit because he thinks every game should cost that much because they need to recoup their their costs and make more money. And it's just like, hey, actually, if you have smaller teams that cost less with less bloated development cycles, then they can have a a tighter vision, and they can actually make the game they want to make and sell it for a less expensive price. You can make a shitload of money. Just look at Baldur's Gate 3, Clara Obscura, Expedition 33, Warhammer Dark Tide 2. Like there are so many games over the last 2 years that have sold between, or hell, Hollow Knight Silksong, which was made literally by one guy, and he charged $20 for it. So and it sold what, I don't know, 20 million copies, something like that. So you if you just don't go out of crazy with 10,000 people on a team Diablo 4 talking about you, you don't have to make $30 billion to recoup your damn money and make profits. So smaller teams, get the hell out of the way. Now, I don't trust Asha Sharma and Xbox as far as I can throw them, but what they are doing right now, talking about getting back to smaller teams, oh my God, Bethesda had 14 levels of middle management to get decisions done. Why do you think we haven't had an Elder Scrolls game in 15 friggin' years? Okay. That's literally the Office Space meme. I have 7 bosses, Bob. I mean,
That's
but
insane. That's
Wait.
insane.
You've officially become a Dilbert cartoon.
like, seriously, you are Office Space at this point. It's insane. So it's shocking nobody's burnt down the building yet.
Well, part of the industry too, again, trying to recoup expenses is now, and I get doing remasters for next gen consoles. Sometimes it's great. Like I've loved playing The Last of Us Part 1 and 2 on the PS5. They do play better. They're worth it and all that. Also, I've waited till they were at a discount, but they didn't charge me $70 for the PS5 version. It was also at, retail 50. And they're doing that with, the new Halo Combat Evolved that, it'll only be $50. And what? It was only 40, 50 for Oblivion, the remaster last year. So it's not like that. But here's the other issue. Black Flag Resynced came out this year. Great. Love Black Flag. Does it look better cosmetically on a next-gen console? Yes. Does it play better? No. It's still Ubisoft, full of bugs, tweaking the story here and there that's not as good as the original, and you're doing it as a cash grab. You're literally doing it because Ubisoft is, hemorrhaging money with all their losses. So let's re-release a game that we knew that people would like and charge them $50. Or no, actually, I'm sorry, it was $60 to try to, make money for all of our losses. Well, here's at the end of the day, if your original version that got remastered for Xbox One and PS4 still plays better than what you just did now, fuck off. I mean,
There's a right way of doing it, and then there's a wrong way of doing it, like Nintendo just did with Star Fox.
Yeah, I mean,
Great, it's a great remake, and it didn't charge you out the. Shockingly, they didn't charge you out the wazoo for it.
No.
Yeah, but that was also a ground up remake too, right? It wasn't just a remaster. See, there's a difference.
Yeah,
So,
that's true.
And you've got Skyrim, which has had 4 different editions released across 8 different consoles.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, stop, like concentrate on new shit. And hell, Xbox had to drag Bethesda kicking and screaming to work on the two IPs that made them what they are, the Elder Scrolls and Fallout. And I don't know if the next, and they're doing remasters now of Fallout 3 and New Vegas. Which are you gonna fix all the bugs that's wrong with New Vegas? Because that game can't run without about 18 different mods.
Yeah.
And that's another thing. Hey, Bethesda, you guys are actually paid to make games, not make unfinished crap that your fans finish for you.
Are they still waiting on Fallout 76 to work?
I don't know.
It's pretty much been rebuilt from the ground up.
Yeah.
With all the expansions, I mean, it's it was absolutely shit when it first came out. But kind of like Cyberpunk, where it's pretty much a brand new game and a lot better. I'm not saying it's better than 4 or anything else, or 3 or New Vegas, but I at least applaud the hardcore fans and everybody in making that game better and improving it along the way to where it is a salvageable game and also a lot cheaper. And the DLC is not overly expensive. So
Yeah. Yeah, it's just
well,
Bethesda's a mess right now.
I know. But here's the worst part about all of these companies, gouging us uh and Brendan, I agree with you. I mean, you're right. Microtransactions are going to come back. Well, on top of that, when, you know, Sony just announced that physical media is gone, that in 2 years they're not making, any more disc or anything like that. It will all be digital downloads. You're
Which
maximizing your profits any which way you can and, getting rid of your overhead. That's not, if you had more overhead and had to raise your price, I get that. But at this point, if you have no overhead, then your prices should be going down.
which by the way, Xbox has a chance to play the funniest Uno reverse card of all time.
I saw you talking about this.
Because all they have to do is repurpose Sony's commercial from the PS4, Xbox Series, or Xbox One era, where they're like, "This is how you share your games on a PS4," and he hands it to his buddy, and he just goes, "Thanks," and that's it. If they run that same exact ad with Asha Sharma and somebody else at Xbox, they are going like they need to do it like that first whatever that summer cycle where they announce the Project Helix and Sony announces the PS6. They should let Sony go first. Let Sony come out and say, yes, this has no disk drive. There are no disks, a completely digital system. And then Xbox should come out a week later and be like, we have a disk drive. All our games will have discs. You can buy a disc, you can get a digital license for it if you want to, but you'll have all your games can be on discs, and this is how easy it is to share them.
Or you do what you also did, where not only did you have the physical disc, but you asked the digital code to go with it too.
Yeah, well, that's what that they're doing that regardless. So Xbox just came out and said that if you have the disc, the moment you put it in your Xbox, it will grant you a digital license.
Yeah.
And you no longer need the disc to play it on your Xbox, but you can still lend that disc to somebody else, and then it will, while they have the disc, it will transfer the digital license to their. So what that does is it means Xbox still gets, kind of copyright protection where you have to buy multiple discs if multiple people want to play it, but you can still share it with a buddy because they'll just transfer the digital license from your Xbox gamer tag to theirs.
Yeah. Hence the way it should be.
So, I mean, I like the old school version where I can, if I could have downloaded it and played it and then gave it to you so you could still play it. But I understand why they do that. That's fair. But
Yeah, but it's also not gouging
yeah,
with this. It will be interesting to see, what happens to the physical stores because for all the problems that GameStop has and all the stores that have closed and whatnot, I don't even have one that's near me anymore. I had two, literally one a mile from my house and then one for 2 miles from my house, and they're both gone. Now I actually have to drive like more than 5 miles. It what is going to become more of those stores? How is that, going to work for them? Now, I will say this. It does make the retro stores a lot more valuable with the physical media. And I hope that they absolutely thrive, uh, continue to thrive. But
there are going to be a lot of people over the next couple of years buying classic gaming consoles.
oh yeah,
I think especially the PS2 360 era. I think that there's a lot of people that are going to be going back to those consoles and buying those games and playing those single player games.
I got to tell you, I love. I mean, on my main gaming TV, while I have my Xbox Series X and my PS5. I have a 360 and I have a PS3 hooked up to it as well for some of the physical media. And I mainly did that because I think it's still kind of fun to go back and play like a Madden or a FIFA game from like 12, 15 years ago and really, see the changes and stuff. And college football, NCAA 2014, is still a great game to go back and play.
I love that you can upload your own logos into that sucker whenever you
Yeah.
link your EA account. Like I made like the Gotham City Dark Knights, and I made the Metropolis Men of Steel with Superman logos on their jerseys and shit.
When I was working at that GameStop on Northwest Highway, just getting a little beer money, I actually had one of the punter from the 2013 North UNT Mean Green come in to buy the game because he was in that game and it was their last game. So he's like, "Yeah, that's my number, whatever it was." I was like, "That's pretty funny."
That's gotta be a rush.
Yeah.
What is the answer for the gaming industry? I mean, get the shareholders out. I get it. Everybody wants to make money and all that, but if you're doing it strictly for profit, then you just ruin everything.
I'll tell you what my answer for me personally, and not everybody's going to be able to do this, but this is what I did. The next the next Xbox Project Helix is rumored to be $1,200 or more. The next PlayStation is rumored to be $1,000 or more. I went and took that money and I put it into a really badass gaming PC that's stronger than what is projected to be both of those systems. So, and I'm sticking with Steam. And while that's not physical content, I know until Gabe dies, there is no more consumer friendly and consumer protected marketplace in gaming than Steam.
Mhm.
And I recently bought for the summer game sale, I bought Mass Effect Legendary Edition, so that's 3 games, Cyberpunk 2077 with the expansion, Red Dead Redemption 2, Solasta, Solasta 2, Pathfinder Kingmaker, Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous, Disco Elysium, and Grim Dawn. For 400, and it was, if I had bought everything at full price, it would have been $430, I think. I paid $141
Jeez.
during the summer Steam sale
Yeah.
or Steam summer game sale. That is value. And
Yeah.
most of those games, now some of them are from big people. So obviously, Mass Effect's from BioWare, Cyberpunk is from Red Dead, and is from CD Projekt Red. Red Dead Redemption is from Rockstar. But Solasta, Pathfinder, those are all Disco Elysium. Those are all from smaller independent studios, and they are putting out great games. Solasta 2 looks to be Solasta 1. It's a less refined version of Baldur's Gate 3, but it's a lot of fun. If you like TTRPGs, if you like CRPGs, if you like Dungeons and Dragons, you will like it. Solasta 2 looks like it's making leaps and strides over Solasta 1 because of the money they made on Solasta 1. And Pathfinder, the 2 Pathfinder games, they also make the Warhammer CRPGs, and they're stepping up. That's Owlcat Games. They're stepping up to make The Expanse, which is very Mass Effect inspired, and I can't wait to play that next year. I think it comes out Q2 of next year.
Yeah. I will say this about some of the remasters, and I get, kind of a cash grab. Sometimes it's okay. I am very intrigued about Halo Combat Evolved, which will be coming out at the time of this recording next week. I'm glad if you want to actually play it on PlayStation that, it's only about $50, but that they took the time to build in like 3 prequel missions that lead you up to the game. I'm like, that's cool. It's not just a complete, we're throwing it on the Unreal Engine and making it cosmetically, better for the new consoles. We're going to give you some added stuff. Because if that's all you're really doing, I'm like, well, the Master Chief Edition was, perfectly good and looks even better on, the Xbox Series. But here's the other thing too. It will be a day one game on Game Pass. So like, I'm not going to buy it. I'm just going to subscribe to Game Pass
For 2 months.
Right. And go through it. And I can't wait to do it because it is the 25th anniversary. And I want to see what they do with such a great and classic game and how well it's going to look and play. Even though, again, it's a bit of a cash grab. But because it is the 25th anniversary, I'm like, I get that, and that is, kind of allowed. And let's see what you're going to do.
I did I did buy the Legendary Edition of Mass Effect, and normally I don't buy remasters. The reason why I bought this one is because number one, I didn't buy it at full price. I think I got it for $25 or $30 on the Steam sale. So I got three really good games for $30, and they do look better.
Oh yeah.
And while I had Mass Effect 1 and 2 in my library, I didn't have Mass Effect 3, and buying the Legendary Edition on sale, I think was cheaper than buying Mass Effect 3.
Oh yeah.
So it was just like, oh, this is a
I actually,
no-brainer.
not too long ago, started Mass Effect 2 over again on the Legendary Edition. Um,
It's the same price. It was the same price. Mass Effect 3 by itself is $29.99, or I got the Legendary Edition for like $30. So
Speaking
yeah.
of Nintendo and remasters and stuff like that, so Chad, you and I are the only one on staff that has the Switch too.
Mhm.
Uh, the announcement for Ocarina of Time, the remake. Are you excited about that?
Of course.
Yeah, because that's one that I'm like, yes. I bought the other one for like $10, for my Nintendo account, but I'm like, I'm very, very anxious to see what they do with that one, and can't wait to jump back into that. To me, that'll feel like a remaster that's worth full price.
Yeah, if they stick the landing on Ocarina like they did with Star Fox, then an absolute gem on their hands this holiday season.
Yeah, I can't.
If it's done by then.
The thing about Grand Theft Auto 6 is like I want to play it, but I'm just like, there's a part of me. It's like, do I want to play it enough to where it's going to be $100? Because
No.
again, you have to spend that, and I'm like,
I can't. I can't do it. I just can't pull the trigger on that.
I know,
I can't justify it.
I know. Uh, we'll see once we get closer to that. That may be not one that we, dive back into. Now, I will say that one of the bright spots of gaming, and I've got to finish up my article, is very much enjoyed 007 First Light. It is the best origin story of him next to Casino Royale, and it is a fun game to play. I don't think it's truly worth $75 unless you're a hardcore Bond fan. So for everybody that was kind of on the fence, like, yeah, wait till it's at least 50% off. Because it's about, depending on how long it takes, it's about 20-25 hours to get through, but very cinematic and a lot of fun. I will give it that. So, uh, anything else that we're pissed off about the gaming industry? Because I think we've pretty much covered it, and EA just being EA as usual.
No, I would just say, hey, I think we've complained enough. I say the bright spots in the industry are definitely in the AA and independent space. And I would very much recommend that people go and support those developers because they are putting out some products that are equal to, or in many cases, far superior to the AAA space. And you're going to get much more bang for your buck. I like to say, if you're going to play a game, you need to get at least $1 an hour out of your value. So if you're
Yeah.
paying $70, you better be playing that game for 70 plus hours.
Yeah.
Whereas if you're playing a game like Hollow Knight Silksong, for example, you might play that game for 100 hours and you only pay $20 for it.
Yeah.
So, that's some incredible value right there. So I would just encourage people to look at those AA and independent spaces because you're going to find some absolute gems to play and you don't have to spend $70 to do it. And also just be big on the sales, man. Summer Game Sale was absolutely baller this year. Like I said, I got 11, I think it was 11 total games for 70 an average of 70% off.
Yeah. One thing I will also tell gamers, you can go to third-party sites to find digital games. Though the one that I recommend two, but the big one that I always recommend is called Eneba.com.
Eneba. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Neneba.com. The other thing you can do there is you will be able to find month-to-month good rates on Game Pass. So when they jumped up to $30 a month, the discounted stuff was at about 20. But now that the price has gone down, you could start finding the month at about $10 now. And that's what I do. You just need to remember to turn off automatic renewal every time you subscribe, but that'll save you money. The other one is Game Evo, and that is just GAMIVO.com. It's about kind of the same price because you're going to find really good stuff there as well. That if you're not finding the sales in digital stores and whatnot, especially if you were all excited about, having Call of Duty on Game Pass, which, they're not going to do that anymore. Hence why they dropped the price. You're going to have to buy Game Pass, buy Call of Duty again, as shitty as it might be. You can find some of the good versions for pretty good prices. And I've been pretty excited, like right now in the PlayStation Store, if Black Ops 1 and 2 are about $20 in the PlayStation Store. I think they're on sale too in Xbox. That's really the best thing. But smaller independent games without subscribing, I'd rather see a lot of those games bought at kind of a cheaper price than having to rely on Game Pass. Because if you're only spending less than $10, you're kind of like, this looks intriguing. I want to try it. And if you put a few hours into it, you get your money's worth, even if you never go back to it. So, but anyway,
to give folks a really double down of what we were both talking about, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 from Warhorse Studios, independent, launched at $60. Great price point there for a game that big. You can get it on Aniba right now for a Steam key for $20.86.
Yeah, and it's actually on Game Pass right now too. I didn't have Game Pass for about a year when they hiked the prices, but I went back to it now when I can find my like $10 discounts because I'm like, I'll keep it then. But anyway, all right, we got one last thing we wanted to talk about before we close it out. So our last podcast, we were talking about our top favorite movies, our top 5 movies of Steven Spielberg. After complaining about Disclosure Day and, he just needs to retire and he's way past his prime. I hate to say that about a giant, but, it's truthful. But
Facts is facts.
Yeah. But this time we wanted to talk about underrated movies. The movies that don't get talked about enough, like Raiders of the Lost Ark, Jaws, and Schindler's List for Saving Private Ryan, or Jurassic Park. Because he's done a lot of, I wouldn't say necessarily smaller movies, but less popular. Things that you may not have realized that he has directed. So we're each going to pick a different movie. I'll start off with Jimmy couldn't be here today, but he did text me his pick. It's a little gem from 1989 called Always.
Damn it. Damn it, Jimmy.
So apparently that's Chad's movie.
That's mine.
We'll let you talk about it. But anyway, starring Richard Dreyfuss, John Goodman, Holly
Hunter.
And of course, I think it was her last role, Audrey Hepburn.
Audrey Hepburn, yeah.
So it's a really good movie. As Jimmy put it, an emotional wreck at the end of it. But Chad, I'm gonna let you take this one since it was your bet as well.
It's actually a remake. It's a remake of A Guy Named Joe.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure that A Guy Named Joe had a World War II setting, but in this one, it was a pilot who goes down in combat. I've never seen A Guy Named Joe. I feel like I've kind of screwed myself. I've actually got it on the Plex server, just never watched it. But they are a brigade of firefighting pilots that quell forest fires before they rage out of control. That's what Holly Hunter works up in the tower. John Goodman and Dreyfuss are best friends that are the pilots that put the fire out. So the actual ground crews, the actual grunt firefighters on the ground can work their way towards the source, and they can take out a lot of the peripheral damage and clear a path for them to actually fight the fire that they can't get to. And Dreyfuss's plane blows up, and I can't recall the name of the actor that comes to basically take his place.
Brad Johnson is the name. Brad Johnson.
Brad Johnson.
Yeah,
okay.
Really do that much. I think he was in the original Left Behind movie with Kirk Cameron. Nothing to brag about, but
Right. But he's a young upstart pilot who kind of moves in to try to take his Dreyfus's spot. And Dreyfus and Holly Hunter were in a relationship. They were a romantic entanglement. And she had just talked him into leaving, firefighting and going to be an instructor the day of his tragedy. So this kid shows up. I think he was like doing like singing telegrams or something as a pilot. And Mark Helgenberger's in this. And that was like the first thing I ever saw her in because she kind of had a crush on this guy. But he's got eyes for Holly Hunter. And ironically, Richard Dreyfuss becomes the guardian angel of his own replacement.
yeah,
He's looking after Holly Hunter, but he's kind of stuck looking after this guy kind of unwittingly. He's like, really don't want to do this, but I guess this is the hand I got dealt. So he's trying to kind of guide him along and be the little angel on his shoulder. And sometimes he's the devil on the shoulder.
yeah,
So he gets him in trouble on occasion, but it's a really sweet, delightful movie. Came out right around, I want to say, the summer of '89,
yeah.
and it kind of got past a lot of people. And I mean, when you sit there and watch this thing, for those of you that have never seen it, it's got Spielberg's DNA all over it. I mean, it's John Williams' score. He probably used his, I can't remember who his standard cinematographer was, but it had that same look. I mean, this is the same year that Last Crusade came out.
Yeah.
So there was one of those years of Spielberg double dipping.
Yeah.
And I love the movie. To me, it's just an underappreciated gem.
I agree with you. I mean, the end of the movie, because there's always, Spielberg always has those movies where there's the great speech. That's the template. With Jaws, it was, the Quinn speech and stuff. So the really good one, though, is Richard Dreyfuss as Holly Hunter's plane goes down at the end of that movie, and he's talking her out and guiding her and being honest with her. It's like, in basically saying it's okay to go live again, okay to fall in love again. And it's another underrated one with Holly Hunter.
Yeah.
I don't remember her before that movie.
I do. She'd already. I think that was after Broadcast News, wasn't it?
Yeah, I just don't, because that's the thing. It's like I don't remember watching that, but I remember watching Always.
Oh, and Raising Arizona with Nick Cage.
Well, yeah, but I hadn't gotten into that yet. I remember watching Always with my dad and my grandfather as this very sweet movie. So there's a nostalgia thing for me. But yeah, it's that, and Audrey Hepburn kind of playing the guardian angel and explaining everything and being Audrey Hepburn.
Yeah.
So totally agree with you. It's not mine, but it would end up in my top 5. And that's the thing about Spielberg. He had these little small movies that were really great and had his DNA towards the late 80s into the early 90s. So we don't think about this period of like between 85 and 93. We think his one big movie was Last Crusade, but he does Empire of the Sun.
87, I think, is when that came out.
Yep. Bale's first movie, right? He does Always. He does Hook, and so he does these very sweet movies that don't get talked about, but they're very Spielberg-esque, and it's him at the top of his game, and very nostalgic, sweet, great dramas with lighthearted comedy before he was way past his prime.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, also it's one of Richard Dreyfuss's best movies too. So it's not Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
No. I love when Goodman's got grease on his hands.
Yeah.
I think he's getting in Goodman's head and through his subconscious. You got a little thing right there. And he's like scratching, and he's got grease all over his face, and he looks like a fool.
My favorite scene really of that entire movie is the beginning when he gets her girl clothes for her
the dress.
Everybody wants to dance with her, but they have to go wash their hands. Like,
you want to dance with my girl? You gotta wash your hands.
Yeah, just the towel in all the towels in the bathroom.
And the guy goes by, hey, that's not a towel.
Yeah. Anyway,
great freaking movie. It's one of those things where if you haven't seen it, you'll be like, oh wow, I had no idea this movie existed.
Yeah.
And
Well, I also encourage people to watch Empire of the Sun. I hadn't seen that in a while, and I downloaded it. I was like,
that movie's just so bleak.
it,
God, that thing is bleak.
so is Schindler's List. Okay.
I know that, but this is around that time where Spielberg had not really dabbled in that territory outside of maybe, well, The Color Purple a couple of years earlier was
Yeah.
kind of, it was he was going there kind of, but Empire of the Sun, he really went there. He really went to a dark place with that film.
Yeah. But it's still a good movie. All right.
Yeah, it is.
What is your favorite, most underrated Spielberg movie?
I think the most underrated Spielberg movie of all time is Hook. It has a 37% on Rotten Tomatoes. Critics
God.
everywhere panned it. The fans give it a 76%, but like this sniffing your own farts review. Jeff Miller from the Houston Chronicle. It's got everything but heart. It's got emotion, sure. Where do you think emotion comes from, dipshit? It entertains. Okay, well, that's what a freaking movie's supposed to do, but it isn't moving, and Spielberg wants very badly to move us. Bro, he made a movie about Captain Hook. He didn't want to move you. He wanted to entertain
He
you,
wanted to
which you
entertain
just
you, yeah.
admitted you did.
He
Yeah,
wants you to remember your childlike innocence.
yeah.
That is the most pretentious bullshit review that doesn't even understand what the hell it's saying. It contradicts itself from word to word.
Yeah. That's almost as bad as the one I posted about, but the Star Wars girl talking about the Odyssey. Oh my God, it's like Nolan just took a camera, got some actors to say some line, pointed the camera at them, and that's it. Well, yeah, because that's how acting and filmmaking.
That's the filmmaking process, you dolt. Jesus Christ.
Take your rage bait somewhere else. It's anyway.
And it blows my mind that both that movie, that both Hook and Bram Stoker's Dracula came from the same guy's pen. James V. Hart was the screenwriter on both of those at the same time. Both of those movies were in production like almost at the same time.
You know what though? For everybody that complains about Hook, okay, whatever the production, whatever problems that that was going on with Julia Roberts and everything, was she
Fucking love that movie.
again a movie about rediscovering your childlike innocence when you've given up work or it's all about career and blah 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 and having to remember what it was like to be a kid and how to be a better father and stuff like that. And can we just admit that the best part of the fucking movie is the old dude finally to go back,
Getting his marbles.
Finding his marbles. Like, you just described why critics hated it.
Yeah.
Because it was about not taking yourself seriously, about finding your childlike innocence. And look, we deal with critics all the time. We know that there are some great people in the critics world. We also know there are some people who are so full of their own bullshit and they think the world ends and dies with the words that come out of their mouth regarding a movie. And it's like, no, nobody really cares, dude.
We call those people insufferable turds.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like we Marcus is a critic. We are critical about things on here. But I know my opinion is my opinion. And if somebody watching it finds value in that opinion, great. And if nobody does, well, cool, because I don't really take myself all that damn seriously.
No.
So I'm not offended by that. And these are some of the people that take themselves so goddamn seriously. Like, listen to that. That is just the dumbest line
Look,
I've ever heard. It's got everything but a heart. It's got emotion, sure.
Then it's got heart.
I want to say this about critics. If your aim is to be the, underappreciated final word on movies and with this pretentious attitude that you know more than everybody else, fuck off. Giving your opinion, okay? Talk about what made this movie work for you, what, the things that you don't like, but also understand the story itself. Understand that you can have a really stupid movie that is just fun. And I always go back to Roger Ebert, who said that, like Tommy Boy was one of the worst movies he ever watched because you missed the point of that movie. It's stupid.
It's supposed to be, yeah.
But it's also got some heart to it because of these two people who don't like each other, and he is trying to save his company. And there's so many great one-liners in there. Same way of that Dumb and Dumber doesn't have to be high art, but you can make a really funny movie that makes great directors crack up. All right, I'm going to give you one too. I found this out this week, and I brought this up during an interview. Alfred Hitchcock, we all recognize, great director. You know, his techniques and everything they did. You know, one of his favorite movies was Smokey and the Bandit. He
That
loved
does not
that
surprise me.
movie. Watched it over and over. And the reason the reason he mainly liked it was he loved how it was shot. He just because it's so different than what he did. It was just a screwball, odd movie with a really great song that you're going to remember written by Jerry West. And it just it
Jerry who?
not Jerry West. Sorry, thinking of the basketball guy.
Jerry Reed.
Jerry Reed.
Not the
the
LA
NBA
Laker owner.
The NBA logo wrote a song.
Jerry West. He was the logo. And he wrote country songs. Wow, what a talent.
Golly, what a friggin' Renaissance man.
I'm going to spread that rumor on the internet now.
While he's dribbling that ball, he's going eastbound and down.
See now. That's every time I see
Stuck in your head. Stuck in your head now, isn't it? You're welcome.
Wow. But yeah, I mean,
That's why we podcast, folks.
the thing about Hitchcock and his talent, loving a dumb movie like that again does have some heart. And Jackie Gleason is fucking hysterical. And Adam,
give me a Diablo sandwich and a Dr. Pepper. That and just every time he talked to his son, every single time he talked to his son is gold.
Talk about a movie where some of the greatest ad libs and just making it up on the spot. Okay. So
Just
you can be a serious filmmaker and love dumb movies. Same way you can be a serious filmmaker, but love stupid rom-coms that are nowhere, reality.
what was the one where Junior got his fly stuck and
Yeah.
he was trying to zip his fly up for him, and those guys are just kind of staring and go, "Get in the car, Junior." So, "Daddy, my fly, get in the car." He's like, "If you ever embarrass me like that again, I'm going to get an axe, and you're never going to have to open your fly again."
It's the same
That
way.
and every time he say, "I'm going to kick your mama in the butt, I'm going to punch your mama in the mouth because there's no way you're from my loins."
The same reason I can appreciate some of Adam Sandler's earlier movies that are just stupid. But
I'll never not love Waterboy. I will never not love that freaking.
I did watch the other day. It's funny as shit. Same way with Happy Gilmore. I mean, and I love the fact that Adam Sandler has done serious movies, and I mean, he's done some really, really, great stuff. Very emotional movies. What's the one? Not Requiem, Rhythm. Oh, it's the one.
Punch Drunk Love, or that was the first time he'd played a serious role, wasn't it?
No,
Punch
it's
Drunk
the
Love.
one where he's the widow, his wife and children died in 9/11. It's got
Spanglish? Was it Spanglish?
no. Never mind. But I love Hustle. The one on
Okay.
Netflix about him being the basketball scout. That was really good. Anyway,
your favorite underrated Spielberg film, Marcus.
yeah, I know.
How we go down this rabbit hole?
It's actually in my top 5, but I put it here as underrated because we don't talk about this movie enough. I love Munich. To me, that's kind of the last great movie that he made. It's not only does he get to touch on get back into, a political landscape, so to speak, and the Jewish political landscape.
Which is personal to him. It would be very personal to him.
Right. To me, that's the most personal Jewish film, second to Schindler's
Just
List.
Schindler, yeah.
It's a spy movie. It's you can look at it as a revenge tale. It's also another great one with Daniel Craig right before he becomes James Bond, because it came before. Brendan and I have talked about Layer Cake, that was the moment you realize that Daniel Craig is going to be a James Bond. I also credit Munich the same way. And John Williams' score. the same way he did with Schindler's List, is incredibly powerful. You know, they and the guys that hunted down all the terrorists from the 72 Olympics, they didn't get them all. They really didn't. They got most of them, and it's also kind of an iconic movie because the ending scene with Jeffrey Rush and Eric Bana is in a park, and you have the backdrop of the Twin Towers.
The towers, yeah.
And they put that in there as kind of a remembrance. That's a movie, one of his that I can watch, and I never over and over, and I never get tired of it. It doesn't feel long. You've got great characters. You know, the scene where they're dealing with the Red faction, and I'm forgetting the name, where they're trying to understand each other because they have the same hideout that the Palestinian guys. There's so much built-in reality to that movie and why they did what they did. It's the same way that they describe after Pearl Harbor why they bombed Tokyo, that being a suicide mission. It wasn't going to stop Japan, but they had to throw a punch.
Yeah.
Mentality. And it was, we have to hunt these people down for what they did. Whether we get them all or whatever, we cannot. We
Can't let them think they get away with this scot-free.
We have to show our strength.
Yeah, they got to taste blood in their mouth.
Yeah. Now, the only thing I could care less about is the really violent sex scene to this brilliant John Williams score. I'm like, I think that was a little unnecessary. But there's so much working in that movie that I just don't feel like he gets recognized with it so much. And part of it is, you know, coming out of, you know, his highlights and all that. But it's also a movie that kind of redeemed him after Artificial Intelligence, which was all over.
Yeah.
I don't know how you guys feel about that movie and whether you've gone back to watch it.
I'm pretty ambivalent about it.
Yeah. But that one for me,
it happens. It exists. You know, I will acknowledge that it exists, but it's not something that I've seen more than once.
Yeah. I don't
Which is rare for Spielberg. I mean, that is a very, very rare class of Spielberg film that I've only seen one time because I'm like, all right, I saw it, came when I came to do.
I don't
did what I came to do.
Over and over. It's like a great once in a while, but again, I appreciate it for what it is and telling that story of the Israel's response.
Mm-hmm.
And basically all of those guys, I mean, they don't all make it home. You know, most of them ended up dying, and then Eric Bana's character never got to go home. I mean, he basically takes on a mission and can't be Mossad anymore because it can't be leaked. And it was a true, you're going to lose your country and who you were to be able to do this job, but you have to do it for your country.
Right.
I thought that was really
just a no-win situation.
Yeah. Also, Jeffrey Rush is, really good. And then, of course, we talked about it last time. Bridge of Spies, I feel like, is very underrated too and doesn't get talked about enough.
How do you guys feel about 1941?
I actually like the movie, but I
do too. What about you, Brendan?
I mean, look, it's going to be underrated because it's silly.
It's Animal House goes to war. I mean, Christ's sakes,
exactly what it is.
I was like, what is so wrong with this? I never understood the hate that movie got.
I love that movie.
I do too.
It's so ridiculous. It's awesome.
The fact that is Susan Backlany, the original first victim in Jaws, that's her in that opening scene where she encounters the Japanese submarine. You're like, oh shit, here we go again. And it's the same girl.
Yeah.
And a lot of people may not realize that.
I think part of it, because you're talking about the beginnings of the conservative movement and getting America back on track and this kind of downturn in the Jimmy Carter era. I mean,
we were still stinging from Vietnam, maybe, and it's like we should be making fun of war and blah 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 blah.
I know before they were approached about it. I mean, John Wayne, before he died, had approached to be in it, but it was just like he just deemed it so unpatriotic that we should make fun of World War II. I'm like,
is that basically the role that Robert Stack played? More than likely.
All
Yeah.
right, John. If you were so patriotic, you could have gone and fought in World War II like most of your colleagues did.
Best line of one of the great movies and shows off Bryan Cranston's acting prowess. Trumbo. I don't know if you
Mhm.
watched that biography, but I
I
love
did.
where he stands up to the guy playing John Wayne. It's like most of us fought. Some of us did it from a soundstage in Hollywood. So,
Yeah.
Damn.
uh,
I
it's
gotta
a-
watch that again. I forgot about that.
oh yeah, that was another one I watched not too long ago.
The thing that got me about that movie is that guy that got playing Kirk Douglas was a
Yeah, I
fucking
know, right?
ringer. Jesus. I was like, my God. I
So,
thought they did like the de-aging or something. I was like, man, I thought it was a CG
I
face or something.
also, speaking of Spielberg, I still like the Terminal too. It's a fun,
I do too. Yeah, I do too. I like that one myself.
but anyway. But yeah, Munich is mine. All right, we're going to close it out by saying one thing, just because because Chad brought this up, talk about actors who are the spitting image and really embody playing a famous actor. The trailer for I Play Rocky.
I was hoping you're going to bring this up.
Oh my God!
Wow. The guy, and you know what else that guy's known for?
Uh,
Did y'all see The Offer?
I did. I watched it once. I've never gone back to watch it.
He's the guy that played Pacino.
Is he?
Yes, he is.
He kind
He's
of.
the guy that played Pacino in The Offer. Did you watch it, Brendan?
No.
The Making of the Godfather?
No.
It was great. God, was it great.
No, it is. It is actually very, very good. He looked familiar.
Because it got me thinking. I'm like, who is this guy? Because they're doing the Rambo prequel with that. What's his name? David Harbour is playing Colonel Troutman in.
Yeah.
And I don't know the actor that's playing Stallone or that's playing John Rambo, but it's not this guy, and it probably should be.
He did the. He was in the Black Adam movie, and he had a series called The Recruit that did 2 seasons.
His name is Noah Centineo.
Yeah, it's something not something that rolls off the tongue very well.
Okay,
Not
that's
like Sylvester Stallone, but
yeah. Okay. I'm glad you brought that up because I saw the trailer and I could not recognize him. I couldn't figure out where I recognized him from. And again, I only watched The Offer once, but I remember him. I remember the actor who played Pacino was really good, and talked like really low and everything in that movie. But yeah, I mean, you look at this guy's like, oh my God, he looks like Sylvester Stallone.
Hey, do y'all remember that movie Chuck? That oh God, Ray Donovan. The actor plays Ray Donovan.
Liv Schreiber.
Yes, Liev Schreiber, where he plays the boxer that Stallone kind of based the story of Rocky on.
Oh, Chuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't remember, something like that. But he actually has an encounter with Stallone in this movie, and the guy they got playing him in that was a ringer for Stallone. I don't know who he was. I was almost thinking it was the same guy, but that was a long time ago.
I only saw that movie once.
We saw it at the presser. We went to the press screening together.
That's right. Because I had more than one person give me a hard time because I was wearing a Rocky t-shirt.
I think wasn't it the Magnolia? But it was the Magnolia at that time. Whatever it is now, I can never remember what it's called.
That's about right. I don't really remember it so long, and I haven't gone back to watch that movie since. I remember it being very good, but
yeah, it was. But I just remember that guy's like, man, that guy looks a lot like Stallone, and now this guy is pretty much in the same boat.
So this is, we talk about movies coming out this year that I'm like really looking forward to. I mean, superhero movies. We're doing a Spider-Man No Way Home. We're Monday.
Brand new day.
Sorry. We're doing that press screening in a couple of days at the time of this thing being released. But this is one of the movies that I cannot wait to see. I mean, obviously, I'm going to do my binge watch of Rocky with it being the 50th anniversary. I mean, not 5, but the rest of them and the Creed movies. But this, I just feel like the way that trailer is, they're capturing the essence of everything he struggled with to make Rocky. And everybody, I mean, even the guy they got playing Burgess Meredith looks like Burgess Meredith.
Like, oh shit,
fighting these people. but it looks very, very good. I think it's going to be one of those tear jerkers. I'll tell you another movie, and that I'm very much looking forward to. Tony, about a young Anthony Bourdain when he gets into cooking.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Or is played by Antonio Banderas.
Mm-hmm.
Looks really good.
Yeah.
That's another one we're going to be talking about during award season. So anyway, we're going to close this out, but we're giving you some other movies to go back and watch with Steven Spielberg. And, finally, I'll say this one last time about the Odyssey. Yeah, have that experience in the theaters if you want. It is an experience seeing it in 70 millimeter, but at the end of the day, it's a film about the Odyssey. And I hate to say this, but a couple of years ago, Ralph Fiennes and Juliette Binoche had one called The Return, which is all about him, returning, not the entire journey. But that one was really good too.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, how many different ways do we need to tell this movie or tell this story?
So, as many different ways as we've told Batman.
But at least Christopher Nolan did that one right.
True.
All right. We're out of here, everybody. Until the next time when we close out all the stuff about what's happening in the summer. But anyway, it is time to say goodbye.
Guns up. #save Stargate.